I'm so excited to go on my walk. So I thought I'd bring you with me and we just hang out in nature for a little bit. So this week I have a recipe for you. Okay, so that's a loose term. It's not a recipe. Let me start over. It's not a recipe. I'm going to show you what I'm feeding my family for dinner this week because I thought it might be a great quick recipe for you. It has a little more fat in it, and for families who eat in a blended fashion, where I tend to eat little to no fat on a whole food plant-based diet, my kids and my husband do not follow my plan. So I thought I would show you the kinds of meals I make for my family in case you need a dinner idea in a pinch. And then I'll show you how I bring the calorie count down and the fat count down so that I can enjoy a little bit of it too without taking in all that extra fat. So let's get into the video. Hello everyone, I'm Kim. If you're new here, welcome to my channel. And if you're not, welcome back. Thanks for hanging out with me again. So this week I'm going to do two things. Share what I'm making for dinner this week because it was so good. I want you to try this dish. And it involves the Impossible ground meat. I know some of y'all get freaked out about it and you say it looks and behaves like real beef. Well, it's true. And for my family, we actually love it. I didn't set out on a plant-based journey because I actually hate meat. I actually like the taste of meat. I just made some different choices for myself, both physically and ethically. I've made some choices, and that's where I'm gonna leave it. But in case you're in the same boat and you want a delicious, tasty, hearty, kind of beefy type meal, then this is your jam right here. I'm gonna share that with you today. Also in this video, I'm going to be weighing in. I've been trying my best, but y'all, I hit a snag. I hit a legit snag. So this week, she came to visit. Yeah. And then when I say she came to visit, like in hushed tone, she came to visit, I mean flow. She showed up and then she gave me a 1-2. As my daughter would say, she gave me the old 86, and I have been down for the count. And here's why. Just a little tip for all you young ones who have nice brand spanking new uteruses. Well, I'm on the other side of that. I'm 50 years old and mine is sputtering out, and in its throes of death, I don't have a cycle for maybe 3 to 4 months. And then when it comes, it puts a chokehold on me. It's like I saved up everything just so I could strangle you. That's what I went through this week. Not only was the pain intense, but the cycle lasted longer than it did when I was just regular, and my cravings were through the roof, and I got acne. I mean, like I'm like a teenager with acne all across the bottom of my chin. So that's what I'm working with this week. But I was down for the count. And not only was I down for the count, I was laying on the couch eating a fat-free cupcake made with applesauce. Okay, maybe I ate 2. Either way, don't judge me. I ate a cupcake and I've been struggling this week, but I did eventually limp my way back to the plan. And so I'm back to eating just whole foods, natural foods, plant-based, and low fat, cooking with no oil. I'm back. But it took a minute to get me here. So without further ado, I'm going to share my current weight and let you know the progress that I've made, and I'll also pop in the footage from the prior weigh-in so you know where I'm coming from, and then on to the recipe. Please give this recipe a try. Let me know if you like it. Okay, again, not an actual factual grown-up recipe. I'm just going to show you what I throw together in a pot and feed my family. So enjoy this video. Impossible meatless grounds. So that's what we're featuring today. This is my recipe-less recipe. So here I'm just chopping a large white onion, and then over to the side I have about 4 cloves of garlic and a shallot. I like a lot of garlic. We love garlic in my family. So as I prep that, here's the Impossible meatless mixture that I'm using. Now here I switched gears and just threw on some tostones. I bought these at Trader Joe's, and I think there's about 1.5 grams of fat per tostone, which tostones are simply just lightly fried plantain. Now for the meatless, impossible meatless ground, I'm going to add some parsley, thyme, black pepper, chili flakes, paprika, tomato paste, and a little veggie broth. And that's me just crushing up some of the herbs. I'm going to give those herbs a fine chop. That's what you see there. And then this is it. I dump and I add onions and garlic and all that into the grounds. It almost looks like meatloaf. And that's how we start out. I preheat my pan, no oil. I just toss it all in. These meatless grounds by Impossible Foods, they have a lot of oil, so you really don't need to, add anything to it. But I'm going to let that cook down and brown up. And yes, it does look like real ground beef. Once again, for the people in the back, this is not beef. This is just a meat substitute, I guess, by Impossible Foods. So I cooked that down and I added a can of black beans when you weren't looking. And then I threw in a little tomato paste. This has probably been simmering for about 15 minutes so far. My tostones are done. I'm just going to add a little seasoned salt to them and give them a flip and throw them back in the oven. Here I'm making a quick dressing. Mustard, a little bit of regular mustard, some garlic powder, onion powder, sea salt, maple syrup. So this is my maple mustard vinaigrette for a salad. It's really simple, no oils. And then I'm using the absolute wrong tool for this, but I'm too lazy to go get something to whisk this with. So we're going to beat it to death until it blends together. And that's it. I dress my salad very simply, cucumbers, onions, and some romaine lettuce. Now here, this is a rather large potato, but it doesn't look like it, but this thing was massive. I took 1.5 tablespoons of that meatless ground mixture that I made and added it to my potato with a little bit of chili flake. That's the only serving of this that I actually had that day. And that's it. I hope you loved this video. Let me know in the comments if you are interested in even giving this recipe a try. You can double the batch and freeze some of it, and it will save beautifully in the freezer because I have done it and it works perfectly. And then on that tired night where your back is aching and you just don't want to cook dinner, pull this bad boy out, heat it up, and feed it to your family. No one will be any the wiser, and it will be delicious. And as for you, go ahead and add a side salad and a large potato. Measure out your serving. I used 1.5 tablespoons on my potato so that I could mitigate some of that extra fat. Try that, see if it works for you. Let me know what you think in the comments. Otherwise, I'll see you in the next video. Bye, love.
If I could lay down beside you, I would. When nothing really matters, that's all I wanna do. I hope that you are safe and that I will see you soon. If I could lay down beside you.